14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
What did you do?
Hang on, sweetheart. Uh-uh-uh. Whoops. Okay.
Okay.
I'm still waiting on Leo. I'm gonna put you on mute. Give me a second. Did you all have to enter a password to get in?
No,
No, I just clicked the link and it brought me straight here.
I did. I had to
What password to use?
fit on.
Thank you.
480226.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Baby. A baby. Baby. Baby.
Yes, baby.
Baby. Go.
Uh-huh.
What's your deep? What's your deep for my dick?
Mhm.
What's
Leo's having problems getting in also.
Go.
It's
What's your deep for?
uh-huh. Leo and Renzo are in Bogota, Colombia. So sometimes there's some technical stuff. So thank you all for kind of hanging in. Bear with us for a moment.
Goes and saves it. That's no fuck else in there.
El mismo sol. Who is that? Padrino, is that you? ¿Ese eres tú? El mismo sol.
It's yours.
I'm going to start and wait for Leo to come in, and we'll start with introductions. Welcome, everyone. Okay, here, babe. Siéntate. Go ahead, sit down. Sit down. Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. Feliz Año Nuevo. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. We're so happy to see you all. As I said, I don't want to keep you, I'm not going to keep you on all night, but I did want us to have a conversation and unpack what this letter of the year and the predictions were about. It is my pleasure to introduce Renzo Davia, who is a Babalao. Renzo, can you just talk a little bit about who you are, how you come to the religion, and as we wait for Leo?
Buenas noches a todos. I'm from New York, Colombiano, and I have IFA since 2014. Soy hijo de Legua. My dad in Santeria would be a Legua. And here, just to help out, and I guess, talk a little bit about La Letra del Año and the predictions for this year. And if you have any questions, I'm here to help.
I am Alicia Anabel Santos. Many of you probably know me or follow me because you saw the link or got the link. You're connected to someone. I am a santera initiated in La Regla de Ocha, the Yoruba religion as it is practiced in Cuba. I'm from the Rama de Pimienta, Omo Ogun. I'm daughter of Ogun con Oya. And I was initiated in 2016. So I'm 4 years old. I'll be 5 this year in 2021. Maferefun Ochun. And I come to the religion and begin my process in 2012 when I receive La Mano de Orula, which Renzo is a Babalao. So Babalaos are diviners who are servants of Orula, Orumila. And so, in 2012, I received Kofa, and in 2016, I become crowned Hija de Ogun. And so I'm hoping that Leo can join us. I'm really sad that he's having technical difficulty, but he'll jump in whenever he can jump in, and we're going to begin. So we are coming out of 2020, the year of a pandemic, of incredible devastation and loss and illnesses. And when Babalaos sit to meet the 31st of every year in Cuba, these are elders, these are Babalaos who, are at the very top in the religion in Cuba. They meet and they spend hours. Renzo can probably speak to this more. What that is, what is that, the 31st? What is it that they're doing to come to the Letra del Año, Renz?
Okay, so La Letra del Año translates to the sign of the year, which basically, when we register, we have signs that are called oduns, and these signs give us information, and our jobs is to interpret it and communicate this to the person we are registering. In this case, it's our society. So this year's sign basically tells us certain things that I'm going to be explaining to you about. Some things you guys interpret it a certain way. I'm going to interpret it a certain way. But the idea is to get the information out there so we can understand how we can live better what we can see coming for this year, 2021.
Buenas noches. Iború.
Iboru, bochiche.
Casi
¿Cómo
que no puedo
están?
entrar. De pronto.
Bendiciones, bendiciones. Alicia, you're muted. Alicia, you're muted.
Yes, I am. I was having a whole thing. Bienvenidos, padrino. Bienvenidos, padrino. Voy a dejar que tú te sientes, que te pongas cómodo, que arregles todo eso para que tú te presentes. Que Renzo y yo ya nos introducimos y Renzo comenzó con explicar qué es la letra del año. Padrino, tú estás muted, no te oigo, no oigo nada.
Ok. Bueno, buenas noches a todos y a todas. Bueno, mi nombre es Leo Fuentes. Soy santero iniciado en el rito de Ochun hace 20 años. Y precisamente estamos aquí junto con mi ahijada y Renzo Babalao, y también iniciado en el rito de El Eguá. Estamos aquí para un poco hablar, introducirlos un poquito en toda esta tradición que es la letra del año, que por lo general y por tradición los religiosos nos vamos a guiar por ella. Son unos mandamientos que nos van a regir durante todo el año para nuestra mejora de vida y para trabajar y ordenar nuestra vida en el año.
He introduced himself. His name is Leos Medes Fuentes. He's initiated in Lukumi 20 years, hijo, son of Ochun. And basically what he's saying is that he's here tonight to sort of talk a little bit about what the mandates are. Like, that's why we're here tonight. We're here, you know, this is not just like predictions for prediction's sake. This is a lot of divining with all of the Orisha, right? And to decide who it is that's going to be governing and what it is that these mandates are. And so Leo shares that our conversation is really about how we can best live this year, how we can get our lives in order and prepare for what's coming. And so this like divination that these babalaos are doing with Orula is who's coming, who's governing this year, and what they have to tell us, you know, in order to help be a guide to guide us this year, right? And so, as I said earlier, we're coming off of 2020. 2020 fue el año de Ochun con Obatala. And the messages from Ochun talked a lot about health issues, gave advice about what not to eat. Renzo, do you remember some of the 2020 mandates?
Well, I mean, basically, there was predictions of enfermedades, of sicknesses, but like I said before, when Ifa tells you what the predictions are of the year coming, we have to interpret it in certain ways. Example, if it says don't eat apples, it doesn't mean you don't eat apples. ¿Me entiendes? It means for some people that this type of fruit is not good for you. ¿Me entiendes? Sometimes it says do not wear shirts that have lines. Do not wear shirts that are dark. Does this apply to everybody in the world? No, it doesn't apply to everybody in the world. But there's certain things that the Odun says, and we're going to go over it today, and I'm going to explain this to you. And for some people, it applies, for some people, it doesn't. So that's why it's important to listen and jot down notes and listen to what Ifa says, which is the Odun, and interpret it how it fits in your life. ¿Entiendes?
Perfect. So let's jump in. Vamos a comenzar. I'm going to share my screen. So
Okay.
voy a compartir mi pantalla para que podamos ver la letra del año, and we're going to unpack it. So it's in Spanish, but we're going to, espérate, give me one moment. Okay. All right. Let me know if you can see my screen, if you can see it, please, Renz. ¿Lo ven?
Yes.
Perfecto. Let's start at the top. Padrino, ¿de dónde queremos comenzar? Queremos...
Okay. Primero que todo, quería decir la importancia que tiene para nosotros como religiosos iniciados, tanto como para nuestro Babalao y Ború, que es una gran bendición que podamos contar con su presencia hoy, y para Alicia como iniciada en la religión, tanto como para mí, compartir esta tradición con todos los que están en esta sala en este momento. Es muy importante porque sabemos que el mundo lo necesita, no solamente para salvarse, sino un poco también para encontrar un alivio a todo lo que está pasando.
He wanted to start by saying how important this letter of the year is for those of us who are in the religion, who are initiated, the Babalaos like Renzo and Santeros like Leo and myself, that every year this serves as a guide for us, those of us who do this work, who consult with clients, who are trying to help people in our community. It's important for us to these are really strict for us, those of us in the religion. And so this is something that we take really seriously, but also it serves those of you who are Leos, who are not initiated and don't have like a knowledge of what this all means. And we are going to do a Q&A at the end. So yeah.
Bueno, para empezar un poco, hablar un poquito, que quiero luego darle la palabra a Renzo Ború para que nos hable un poquito y nos pueda comentar ligeramente sobre Icafún, perdón. No vamos a profundizar un poco, sino un poquito lo que podamos ampliar de esta letra, porque a partir de ahí queremos después hablar un poquito acerca de quién es Olokun para nosotros y qué va a traer, qué bendiciones nos va a traer en este año, y después entonces ya tendremos otras reuniones, pero básicamente es eso.
Okay, so vamos a comenzar. Let's start. Okay, so first we have to explain what an Odun is. An Odun is a sign very similar to Virgo or Sagittarius when we, I guess, see our zodiac signs. But this is, of course, Yoruba. So the sign of this year, the Odun of this year is Icafún, okay? Now we're going to talk about this sign. But when Babalaos come with when they come with a sign called Icafún, for example, there's also testigos, which are witnesses. There's other signs too there. And I'm going to start off with the first witness of this sign, which is Odi Irete, okay? What is Odi Irete? To sum it up, basically, like when we read the Bible, there's stories in the Bible, right? Well, in Ifa, we have patakins, which are legends, okay? And what we do is we read these legends and we interpret it, and then we communicate this to everybody. And that's what I'm going to do right now. So the first, I guess, legend, you can say, is called patakin. For Odi Irete, es el toro hizo un favor al perro y quedó esclavizado para siempre. Now, what does that mean? That means that the bull did a favor for the dog and he was enslaved forever. What does this mean to us? This means that for this year, we need to concentrate on us and not do favors for others. We need to focus on us. Because of this pandemic, because of all the problems that this year is having, we need to concentrate on our families. Okay, we understand there's a lot of problems in the government, in society. So family is first. We need to stop looking outside and start looking inside, which takes me to the first, I guess, important part of this sign, which is el espejo, which is the mirror, okay? This sign talks a lot about the mirror, how important the mirror is, okay? How important it is to see yourself in the mirror. How important it is to not just fix your hair or shave, but stop and look at yourself and understand who you are. Because of this year that we've had so many problems, in 2021, we have to look inside and find strength. Because no matter what Ifa says, we are going to suffer. We still have to get over this pandemic. Economically, we're still going to have issues. So we have to look within ourselves. We have to look into the mirror and see ourselves and say to ourselves, who are we? The second witness of this sign, Ikafun, is Irete Ogbara. Okay, that means salga a la calle y busque la suerte. What does that mean? Go to the street and look for la suerte. ¿Cómo se dice suerte en inglés? Your luck.
Your blessing.
Okay? Again, you have to go out there and find a work. Don't expect work to find you. Don't expect unemployment to take care of your problems. Again, the mirror, look at yourself. You have to be strong and go out there and find opportunities. So far we're talking about inner strength, not outer strength, not finding help from outside, finding help from inside. That's the first thing that comes to us, okay? We're in ire. That means good energy, okay? I don't like to say luck, good energy, okay? Why do we have good energy? Because the sign says that we have good energy because of Orula, which is the Orisha, that's going to give us health in this earth. How do we get to that point? And we'll talk about that because we have to have patience. In other words, this year, 2021, we will recover economically and health. We will, but it will take time. And we have to have patience and we have to be strong. Refranes. ¿Cómo se dice refranes en inglés, Alicia?
A phrase.
A phrase? Okay. El que ríe último ríe mejor. One who laughs, how do you translate it?
The English is the last laugh. What is it?
El que ríe último ríe mejor.
The person who laughs last laughs the best.
Correcto. The person who laughs last laughs better, bigger, right? Which means patience. We have to have patience. It's at the end of the year. It's at the end of 2021 when things will come back to a normal. A normal may be different, but we have to have strength to get to that point. So this is very, very clear. Again, IFA has nothing to do with CNN or Fox or what the news is telling us. IFA is telling us that we have to have strength. We have to look at ourselves to be strong, and we have to end to the end. We have to last to the end of the year. By doing so, we have to find strength. Okay, continuando. El otro refrán, the other saying is, hay veces lo que no nos gusta hacer, tenemos que hacerlo. That means sometimes we have to do things we don't like, but we have to do them. Okay, this is a very important point. Okay, we have to sometimes sacrifice. And this is something very important in Ocha, which is Santeria. Okay, it tells us, sin sacrificio no hay beneficio. Without sacrificing, there's no benefits. Entonces tenemos que sacrifice. We have to give up some things to get others. There's things that we don't like to do, but we have to do them. I'm going to make it really simple for you. If you have to get a job at Walmart, you get a job at Walmart until you get back on your feet. And then you go get your job at the office. ¿Me entiendes? Sometimes you have to do things you don't like. This is what Ifa is telling you so you can get to the end of the year. Okay. Ochun and Olokun. Those are the Orishas that are
governing
this year for us. Okay. Now, who is Olokun? Olokun is the Orisha under the ocean. We know more about space than we know about the ocean. What we do know about Olokun is that Olokun represents salud, which is health. Okay, this is a blessing that Olokun is governing us, which will give us health for this year. So right away, it gives us hope and strength, which is what we need as a society, as a world, everybody. Ochun.
I want to stop for 1 minute. Padrino, ¿qué tú quieres decir sobre quién es Olokun?
Bueno. Para nosotros es un Olokun, es una de las deidades del panteón Yorubá muy importante porque tiene que ver mucho con el anclaje. Con el anclaje significa con sostener la salud, la personalidad.
Estabilidad.
No puede estar en el aire. Quiere decir que Olokun es la firmeza, el anclaje, la firmeza. So, para nosotros los santeros, los religiosos que estamos iniciados y que tenemos este fundamento, es de gran valor tener a Olokun porque aquí Olokun nos da a nosotros salud, firmeza y estabilidad, teniendo en cuenta que es una oricha que vive en las profundidades del mar, pero sostiene, es el corazón del mundo, ¿sí? Por decirlo de alguna manera, metafóricamente.
I want to add to that beautiful description. For me, Olokun is so Olokun is chained at the very bottom of the sea. Chained. Olokun is the fucking tsunami. Olokun is the tsunami. So when we have like these like disruptions and things are just off balance and that's Olokun. You know, the earthquake, that shift. Olokun. Olokun is, I love Olokun very much. It's one of the things that I learned when I was first initiated and received Olokun. My godfather gifted Olokun to me, is that que a Olokun se le pide un desenvolvimiento. A Olokun, because Olokun is the keeper of all of the world's secrets. Olokun is the keeper of the world's secrets. Olokun is nothing nice, right? Olokun is incredibly powerful. And so to Olokun, like governing this year is really, really important for us because if you were ever going to manifest your life and go for what it is that you're supposed to do, your purpose, tu propósito, this is the year, family, to not waste time. Continue, Renzo, con Ochun.
Ochun is the other Orisha that governs us this year, 2021. And who is Ochun? Well, I know Leo Fuentes can tell us because he's Omochun. But in retrospects to what the Odun says for this year, it represents richness and beauty. And why beauty? Because it's going to connect to something we're going to talk about later, how important it is to find beauty within us, okay? Now, richness, she represents all the gold and all the beauty and all the sweetness that the world, that life has to give us, which means hope. Going back to hope. We need this hope, and the hope is there. The orishas are giving us hope. Esperanza, lo que estoy diciendo. Leito, ¿se nos puede decir un poco de Ochun?
Y quería decir también, además de todo eso que estamos diciendo, que representa, vamos a hablar un poquito de, para nosotros los santeros, ¿quién es también Ochun? También Ochun es la oricha de la humildad, pero también del sufrimiento. Entonces es importante que, ¿por qué del sufrimiento? Porque de alguna manera todos los avatares, todos los caminos y todo lo que ella tuvo que pasar para llegar a ser lo que ella es una oricha que lo mismo ríe, pero ríe a veces, muchas veces ríe por no llorar. Entonces, en esa esencia me gustaría concentrarnos, porque este año, Olokun, con todos esos misterios tan profundos, que nos está pidiendo paciencia, nos está diciendo, el que último ríe, ríe mejor, no te adelantes, piensa, trabaja, ve step by step, y Ochun está diciendo, aquí estoy yo para ir por los lados, dejándote el camino dulce para que al final tú tengas verdaderamente lo que quieres, you know?
En Ifá, en este Odun nos habla mucho del espejo. In this sign, we talk about the mirror, and I mentioned it before. Now we're going to talk about the mirror. It's very important. The mirror. First of all, have everything clean in your house for this year, especially things that reflect, okay? Mirrors in your house. Have everything clean. Try to have everything clean. It's very important, okay? Ochun has a mirror with her all the time, looking at her beauty, looking at herself. And what we're interpreting with the mirror is to find our inner strength, our inner beauty, that push we need to get over this year we had with sickness and depression and so many problems we had. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a patakin, a legend, and we're going to interpret it in certain ways, okay? So this patakin that I'm going to tell you is about when the women soltaron el cabello, ¿cómo se loosen their hair?
Down
Alicia?
there.
Huh?
Let down their hair.
Let down their hair, okay? Soltaron el pelo. Donde las mujeres soltaron el pelo. This is the story of this, okay? Orula, okay? He had many difficulties in a land because of bad energy or bad luck, you could say. So he had to move. ¿Qué pasó?
No, I'm good. No,
Okay.
I'm just, it's
Okay.
fine.
So he had to move from one location to another location, and he started to look for a new location to live. And he found the mountain of Okefun, which really represents Ikafun, which is our sign of the year. He was dedicated to find this new place to live, to get away from the bad energy where he lived before. We're connecting things now, right? He found his way and he got to a market, but the market was closing and no food was available. Only women, there's a couple of women there that were still serving food and selling food, but all these women had their hair in turbans and hair up. He saw this and he said, would it be okay if you let your hair down? When the women let their hair down, pieces of their hair fell to the floor. He picked these pieces of hair and it gave him strength. It gave him hope to continue his path. These women gave him food. To make a long story short, he received this, he got this hair with other ingredients, and he created an ebo, which is a cleansing, to find una fortuna, which is richness, happiness in a new land. So it was the hair of these women that gave him the strength and hope to reach to this land. Well, of course, they've also fed him. This Odun that we're talking about today talks a lot about women. Habla mucho de mujeres, mucho mujeres. It talks a lot about women, and I see we have a lot of women here, so it's very important to, I guess, talk about these issues. Loosening your hair, what does that mean? It means protecting yourself. It means finding freeness, being free, right? It goes back to Ochun, finding beauty within yourself, okay? I'm going to tell you another patakin that you're going to interpret it, okay? I need you to listen and interpret it, okay? In this patakin, which is legend, it's going to talk about what's called taking the mask off death, okay? Taking the mask off death, okay? Este patakin, okay? This is a story about a queen who reigned a kingdom, but she was a very bad queen. She was a queen that demanded every single baby female that was born to be given to her, and she would use them as slaves. These little girls grew up and they would have their hair long, and the queen would demand they cut their hair off. And she would grab this hair and she would put it on her because she was losing her hair. So she would cover her face and her whole body with the hair of these little girls who were enslaved. The mothers of these enslaved girls started, being really, really angry that their daughters were enslaved. It got to the point where this queen started sacrificing these young girls, sacrificing their lives. So now the mothers of all these young girls started praying to Olokun, to God, please help us. The story says that Elegua was sent down from the heavens to investigate what was going on. He found out what was going on, reported to God, and God told him, it's not a queen that is living in this land. It's the devil. It's complete evil that is living in this land, disguised with all this hair in their face. So listen, Alicia, you know what Olokun did? He sent Ogun to this land. And Ogun is an Orisha that is very strong, powerful. Alicia could talk about more about Ogun. And Ogun got this queen, which is really the devil, and took the devil, the evil, to God. And God said, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Why are you taking the lives of innocent people? Now we're connecting things, no? Why are you taking the lives of all these young girls? Why are you cutting their hair? And Iku says, because there has to be balance in this world. And Oku was hiding under this hair. And Iku's job is death. That's his job. So from that moment on, God told the community that this queen wasn't no longer reigning in this kingdom. So now there was peace, but all the women had to let their hair down and let their hair grow, and there was no longer this evil in this land. Now, as you could see, this story, of course, I'm paraphrasing it because it's very long. It relates a lot to what is going on. How evil has really taken our land in this year. But praying, having faith, going back to the religion, how important this is, there is a solution. There is hope, right? And the hair, what does the hair mean? Well, the hair protected this evil. Once that evil was gone, the women that had hair very short let their hair grow. And they found peace and harmony in this new land. So everything I said since the beginning until now is about hope. Is about this year, finding patience, because we will get there. Okay, this patakin, like I said, is my interpretation of how this year will be. Maybe Alicia could tell us a little bit about Ogun, so they could understand who Ogun is.
Thank you for that, Renzo. My whole body felt that. I love that Pataki. Please send it to me. So Ogun Arere is an Orisha. He's the god of iron. He lives in the forest. He works 365 days out of the year. He represents all of technology. So anything that is built, anything that we live in, he's iron. So he is all things. He is everything. He is creation itself. He's represented as the train tracks, the airplanes, everything that's iron, our buildings, our structures, everything is Ogun, metals. So he's a force. And he's a warrior. He's a guerrero. He's one of the guerreros with, Elegua, Ochosi, Osum. And so, yeah, Ogun, Ogun is my father. I could talk for days about that. But what I want to talk about was what you were saying, Renz. I thought was really fascinating. This idea of women being called to let their hair down, and hair being represented as our strength. El pelo como fuerza. No solo belleza, not just like for beauty's sake and for the, you know, for the pleasures of men, but there is power in our hair, and we know what that is. Many of us know what that is. Like when we cut our hair, it's a statement. Like we're saying something. When we go natural, we're saying something. Our hair is a political statement. The way we braid it, the way we, you know, tie it, the way we wrap it, right? And so what I really loved, Renz, is this idea of ikul, death, and the masks, and the men who are in power, like the things that are happening when we look at our political climate, like who is that devil? Who are the people who are causing death and causing harm? And then on the flip, I'm thinking about what we are being called to do, and I feel it as a santera, you know, and not just as a santera, as a woman of color. I know that we are the healers and that we have a lot of work to do to clean this up, to clean this mess. And so that pataki is right on time, Renz, because everything that you've been sharing, I'm feeling it. I feel that, like, this is why this conversation, I knew I had to do it. I wasn't going to do this. It wasn't planned, but I felt like we need this message to be shared. People need to know what's happening and what we're being called to do in our individual lives. Yes, baby.
For this year, 2021, this Odun, Ikafun, tells us about robos, o sea, people stealing something from you, okay, or schemes to steal something from you. And now I will.
Sorry, Renz, I'm going to stop you because I want to move through every single one quickly and then to Q&A because it's already 10 of 8.
Okay, well, basically, again, you know, when I say something, it goes with a pataki. And this pataki that I'm about to tell you, which is really quick, it's about Yemaya having envy on Ochun because Ochun's so beautiful. So she cuts her hair off, okay? She takes it, tries to put it on to look more beautiful, but it doesn't work. When Ochun wakes up, everybody says, it's your sister that took your hair, okay? So this Odun talks about, everybody please be careful this year about people taking something from you that's close to you, okay? Traición also. Traición, how you say it in English? Traicionar?
Betrayal.
Betrayal.
Maybe like
Betrayal. It
betrayal.
talks about betrayal. You have to be very careful with betrayal within your family. Okay. I mean, there's a lot of things I can talk about. I don't know how you want to handle this because I have a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, I have the whole Odun.
We're going to get into patakis because at this point it's 10 up. I want us to go through like straight up. This is what Olokun and Ochun want us to know. So let's move to like the enfermedades, and then we're just going to break it down. Padrino, había algunos. Vamos a comenzar ya con la letra. These are the letters now. Because Renz, when we have the classes, the patakis are going to be amazing. Padrino, ¿tú quieres que yo lo diga nada más en inglés?
Pues sí, en el salón todos entienden inglés, pues chévere. Me gustaría que lo dijeras también en español también. Pero me gusta.
En español y yo lo digo en inglés.
Ok. Nosotros vamos a empezar. Quería antes decir gracias a Renzo y Ború y Boya. Esto es nuestro avalado. Es importante siempre tener esta palabra. La palabra de Ifá y Orula es importante, sobre todo para nosotros poder encontrar como santeros una fortaleza, un piso. Vamos siempre al pie de Orula a preguntar. Este año hay unas indicaciones, hay unas recomendaciones para nosotros los santeros que lo entendemos. Es importante. Para los aleyos que están aquí, o sea, personas que no están consagradas, vamos en estas reuniones a tratar de irlos guiando y también darles algunas soluciones para que encuentren un poquito de paz y acomoden un poquito las cosas, ¿verdad? Una de las cosas importantes de este año que podemos hacer, eso me gustaría empezar así directamente, es 1, limpiar la casa. ¿Cómo vamos a hacer esto? ¿Cómo vamos a hacerlo? Pues vamos a baldear la casa con hierbas de opatalá y nosotros luego lo vamos a ofrecer, digamos, cuáles son esas hierbas, hay que buscarlas. este año. Es importante.
Vino después, voy a poner en mi IG cuáles son las 8 hierbas, las hierbas.
Pero digamos que para darle un orden, porque hay, digamos que dentro de todo el ceremonial de este año hay cosas que como santero, el babalao y los santeros podemos hacer más profundamente, pero mientras tanto creo que los aleyos podemos, Alicia, decirles, este es el primer paso para mí, limpiar la casa.
So the first step, family, is that we have to clean our house. We are ordering our house. We are throwing shit away. We are purging. We are
Voy
cleaning.
a enviarle las 8 hierbas, Alicia, 8 hierbas vamos a enviarles para que vayan a tratar de conseguirlas. Y luego lo vamos a ir explicando cómo hacer esto.
Right.
No coger la hierba cualquiera. Recordar siempre que estas hierbas hay que pedirle a bendición y permiso para que funcione. Eso es una energía que está ahí.
It's a process. He's saying that the plants are sacred. It's sacred medicine owned by Osain and Orisha. All herbs are Osain's, a medicine man and healer. And so there's a process, you know, like it's not just getting herbs for herbs' sake. They're very selective. They are specific herbs for Batala. And he's going to take us through how it is that we're going to use these herbs. My recommendation for those of you who are in New York, we have a lot of botanicas. So wherever you are, whether you're in the West Coast, wherever you are, let's look for fresh, they're going to be fresh herbs for Batala. And then there's a way. So tú quieres comenzar con cómo vamos a tratar esas hierbas.
Sí, es importante. Es importante. Después que cada quien consiga su hierba, entonces podríamos explicarles, no detalladamente, sino explicarles un poco cómo manipular esta hierba.
Okay, so
recordar.
yo voy a crear un video para compartir, para que ellos vean cómo se hace.
Okay. Pero también es importante para mí decirles, hablar un poquito de los consejos. Hablamos ahorita de los pataquines de una manera metafórica, y los pataquines nos llevan a algo más tangible, más práctico. Y es, uno, primero, hay que cuidarse los bronquios, hay que cuidar la respiración, hay que cuidar el sistema digestivo, cuidarse todo el problema del sistema digestivo, cómo, cuándo como, dónde como. Eso es importante para este año, tener cuidado con el estómago. Segundo, tener cuidado con la cabeza. Hablamos ahora de todo el tema del pelo y todo, importantísimo eso, porque la cabeza no está solamente para llevar el pelo. Vamos a tener cuidado porque van a haber muchos problemas mentales. Entonces tenemos que tener, precisamente Orula nos está llamando a la paciencia. A veces queremos hacer cosas que no nos corresponden y no queremos hacer cosas que tenemos que hacer, porque es el mejor camino. Consejo número 2, importante, es cuidarse el estómago, cuidarse de las enfermedades mentales, ¿verdad? Y por supuesto, dentro de las casas, cuidar la armonía de la casa, porque toda esta traición de hermano con hermano, familia con familia, no solamente la familia, sino también la familia santoral, tener muchísimo cuidado. Este es un espacio que estamos creando precisamente para crear paz, hermandad, y en este conocimiento debe estar también una fidelidad, ¿no? Me gustaría que eso lo explicaras un poquito, Alicia.
So I read this and like this morning and really meditated on all of the messages. And as we move through all of them, you're going to feel how connected they are to just how we are living. This is about our life and how to better live our lives. And so the first one is enfermedades infectas contagiosas. So what are we dealing with right now? COVID-19. What is COVID-19? It is spreading. How does it spread? You know, people's, you know, coughing and all of that, right? And so we are being very careful this year with being contaminated. with people who are contagious. And so we're being careful in all aspects of our life. You know, we're still not in the clear. And so let's be careful with things that we can catch from other people. The second one, this one, enfermedades gastrointestinales, is our gastrointestinal health, our stomach, gut health. So this is going to be a year of doing a lot of chakra work, a lot of healing work, a lot of working on our solar plexus. What are we putting in our bodies? I know that I eat like shit a lot of the time. And so this 2021, because I'm turning 50 this year, I need to make a change. Cambios drástico, because what we're eating, like I have made a decision to not eat meat, and that's not easy for, you know, a Dominican woman, you know, to not be eating pernil, you know, and all that. And so gastro, we're being very mindful about not just the food that we're taking in, but how we allow stress and anxiety to manifest in our bodies, family, you know? And then we're being very careful with our nervous system. Now, what do we know about the nervous system? It is what makes everything work. Our heart, our brain, it's our breath. And so if we don't take care of our nervous system, we could die, like straight up. Like there's just no soft way around it. You know, I'm thinking about a dear friend of mine who had ALS a few years ago, and Lou Gehrig's disease shut her nervous system completely down. It started where she couldn't move, and she was in a wheelchair. She was a dancer. She couldn't dance anymore, and then she lost speech. And so little by little, her brain was shutting down, her nervous system was shutting down. And so these predictions these are the enfermedades, the illnesses that can come. That these are the predictions for 2021, right? And it always starts with, this is what's happening. This is what's going to show up in 2021. So let's be careful, family. Let's look at last year. When we lost Chad Boseman, how many people did we lose to cancer? How many men died of colon cancer, right? And those cancers are absolutely connected to the foods that we eat. Whatever your beliefs are, my brother died of cancer. He died of stomach cancer. GI issues are part of my family. And so I know that, like, we have to be careful with ulcers. Ulcers turn into polyps. Polyps turn into cancer. You with me? Ya. Padrino, seguimos. Aquí. Interés social, social issues.
Okay.
¿Qué te preocupa? Aquí.
A mí, de todas maneras, Alicia, como estamos tratando de darles los consejos, los más importantes, ¿verdad? Para que tomen nota, tener muchísimo cuidado precisamente con los robos. Va a haber incremento de los robos, de la violencia no solamente en la casa, sino también en la calle. Tener mucho cuidado con sus cosas, con las cosas de las personas, porque se las pueden robar, se las pueden llevar. Maltratos con los niños. Hay que cuidar a los niños dentro de las casas, porque es importante. Aquí hay unos consejos de Orula donde dice, bueno, estamos viendo toda esta situación que hubo entre Yemaya y Ochun. Si lo llevamos al plano natural de nosotros, pues hay que tener cuidado, cuidar a nuestros niños, a nuestros hijos, a nuestros hermanos, dentro de las casas. Eso es importante, socialmente hablando. Tener cuidado con todo el tema de los desacato policial. En Estados Unidos se han dado todos estos movimientos, en Colombia también, aquí en Colombia se han dado todos estos movimientos. Hay todo un tema de rebeldía social, Hey, recuerden, Olokun, que está gobernando este año. Olokun tiene la fuerza de verdaderamente un tsunami. Cuando Olokun explota, lo que trae puede ser bueno y malo al mismo tiempo. Entonces, si lo llevamos al plano de la vida que estamos viviendo y estamos empezando el año, eso es para todo el año, vamos a tener muchísimo cuidado con eso, controlar esos impulsos, controlar esos impulsos.
Okay, voy a traducir un poco. So these are the social issues, right, that we're facing. And Renzo, you can chime in too. We start with issues with the police. That's directly connected to what's happening right now with Black Lives Matter. That's directly connected to police brutality, and everything that we are fighting for and against here in this country, but for Black people everywhere, right? And so there's a lot of eruptions. So imagine a volcano. There's a lot of eruptions happening. There's going to be a lot of chaos. If we thought 2020 was chaotic and stressful, Olokun is governing. Olokun is the tsunami, is the eruption. And so we're going to be mindful of that. Like, we're going to be mindful about how we move in certain spaces, you know, and choose how we want to respond in those spaces. Like, yes, we are standing up for ourselves, but not at the cost of our lives, right? We're not out here trying to get killed. You were going to say something, Renz?
Yes. Going back to what I said before about looking in the mirror, looking into your family, looking into you. The advice I can give you is to not worry about society, not worry about the government. We can't control that. We can try to control our lives, our own lives, and our family around us. And that's what IFA is telling us. For this year, 2021, which is a recuperating year, we have to not listen to the news that much and hear all negativity and say society's a mess. Oh my God, we're all gonna die. No, stop and look into the mirror and say, you're beautiful, you're strong. Let's go out there, let's go make money, save money, take care of myself, health-wise, my family, what's most important, my kids, what's most important, and let society roll. Don't worry so much about outside, worry more about inside. There's a very conflicting thing that I don't know if you guys have noticed, but in this sign, it says that we're going to see a lot of sicknesses, illnesses. But Ikafung tells us that we're in Ire because of Orula's blessing of health. So here's contradicting, right? No, it's not contradicting. When you learn about Ifa, you understand what's going on. In the beginning of the year, we will continue to see illnesses. We will continue to see problems with economy. But what Ikafun and Ire is telling us is that towards the end of the year, towards the middle to the end of the year, we will get back to a type of normalcy. ¿Entiendes? So you have to have that hope. You have to have that strength, because I think that's what's very important, is that some people are losing faith. Some people are losing hope. And what this sign is telling us is to not lose that.
Yes.
Be strong. So now you understand how Ifa is very complicated. And I can't tell you Ifa in one word.
Yes.
We have to explain it. And we have to interpret it.
Quería decir también, Ali, ahorita Renzo nos daba una recomendación sobre la rogación de cabeza. Es importante tener esa...
Voy para.
Okay.
Porque quiero nada más estar 15 minutos porque tengo que acostar a la niña.
Ok.
Quiero que...
Podríamos encontrarnos en otro momento.
Sí, porque lo que vamos a hacer es tener en la reunión, esa primera clase, podemos hablar de la rogación, que es importante. So, no tenemos que dar todo hoy. What I'm saying, families, he wants us to offer you some healing things, but we can talk about that in the first class, the Afa class that's starting in January. We're starting our monthly classes. It's once a month, every third Wednesday of the month in 2021. I just want to move through. I want to move through the predictions and recommendations, and then we can take some questions, okay?
Yes.
Okay, Padrino, yo lo voy a decir en inglés. Voy a traducir. I'm going to just move through them fast. So here we have a lot of loss of life, natural disaster. The prediction is natural disaster, loss of lives. Here we talk about a growth in migration. People are going to be returning to their homeland, so rematriation, right? And people who are trying to come, whether it's to the United States or leave their countries and go somewhere else. We're going to see a rise in that, right? Those are the predictions. Then we see a rise in losses of lives due to the consequences of immigration status. So people who we know that have been caged on our borders here in this country. We know people have died and been killed. People who are going to make those journeys are going to lose their lives on the journey, right? We're going to have a rise in a lot of sexual violence, assault, judicial, a lot of legal issues, a lot of fights. There's going to be a lot of fights and a lot of violations. There's going to be a rise in political tension, social issues, and religious conflicts. There's going to be a rise in maternal and infant death is a prediction. So mothers, you know, Ochun, there's going to be a lot of difficulty people getting pregnant. And so it's going to be important. This is why taking care of our bodies are important. For those of you who are trying to get pregnant or want to have children, this is an important year. You have to be mindful. Make sure that you are getting your tests. You are taking care of your body. Remember that the social issues that are happening when you are giving birth, your child, your unborn child is receiving those things, those messages. And so we have to have a lot of cuidado. There is going to be a rise in abusing alcohol. There's going to be a rise in robberies and assaults. There's going to be a rise in charlatans, people who are liars in the religion, who are taking people for money, the TikTok community, los religiosos que están en TikTok. ¿Qué tú querías decir de eso, padrino? Renzo, did you
I don't want, no sé qué decir. No sé qué decir.
But Renzo, did you know that TikTok...
Una de las recomendaciones de la letra del año es tener cuidado con todas estas falsas, o sea, tú sabes, hay que tener muchísimo cuidado. Nosotros vamos a ser bien cuidadosos, vamos a tener siempre, gracias a Dios, la ayuda y el consejo de Renzo. Vamos a estar siempre tratando de llevarles a los que están aquí en este salón un cuidado a la hora de ver todo ese tipo de consagraciones, cómo se hacen. Es que estamos hablando de eso, de controlar toda esa serie de cosas para que al final de año no nos vayamos a lamentar. Durante todo el año hay que tener cuidado. Ahora más todavía.
So family, this is not funny, right? I say TikTok, but it's not funny. I've seen some things that are very disturbing. Renzo, I don't know if you're on TikTok or have seen anything on TikTok, but TikTok has this crazy rise of people who are saying they are babalaos, who are saying prayers that don't even sound like anything. Like Leo saw like 5 and was like, ¿qué lo que está diciendo? He's not saying anything. He's not saying a thing. What is he talking about? They're doing a bowl on TikTok, like it's entertainment. And also there's a cat who's on there collecting ahijados. So if you want to, tú quieres ser mi ahijado, has over 500 godchildren. He has over 500 godchildren, Renzo. And the thing I want to say about this, because you ask me this question a lot, community, how do I know? How do I know? How do I know? You have to practice discernment. If somebody Renzo is never going to go in your DM and say, do you want to get consulted with me? I can save your life. Renzo knows better. Anyone, those babalaos who slide in your DMs, that's a no. That is a no, family. Trust your instincts. Speak to your ancestors, to your bóveda. Like, is this person,
yes.
Like you have to begin to speak to your ancestors. You have to seek guidance. You have to do the research. You have to work and you have to sacrifice, right?
Yeah, I can say that Alicia and I had the same experience. We first entered this religion as students. You know, we read, We learned, we asked questions, we went to Cuba, you know, and then faith, you know, hit us in our heart and we believed, and then we made the step. And I think that's the right way to do it. You know, as a student, you learn, you know, you ask questions and it takes time. It took us years. Alicia, oh my God, it took so many years. Myself also. And then we committed. So it's a very long process, but it all comes down to faith. You have to have faith.
Family, this is dangerous because people are playing with people's lives and people are taking money from people who really are trusting that they're receiving a spiritual gift, whether it's somebody's paying Renzo, somebody's paying $1,000 for eleques, for a collar, for a beaded necklace. No, family, that's not what you're doing, family. And ask us. Yes, you can slide in our DMs and ask us a question. I'm too
That's
busy
what I was gonna say.
when I
I was
can.
gonna say. Yeah, like I said, as a student, you have to investigate. You have to investigate. You don't just say yes to anybody.
Alguien me preguntó si 600 era correcto para hacer una limpieza, una bendición en una casa. Somebody asked me if $600 was correct. Look at my godfather. If $600 was correct, I said absolutely not. Don't pay it.
Yo la hago rápido.
Yeah, too much. It's too much.
Claro, padrino. Y eso que ellos lo hacen solo.
No.
Yo estoy preparando baño y se lo mando y tú lo haces solo. You clean your house yourself.
No.
We're gonna get into these questions. We're gonna talk more about in the class. I'm gonna continue moving through the messages. But Meg, don't make me ill tonight because I have the $30,000 to make Yemayá, $30,000 para hacer un Yemayá that's somebody's house. That's a down payment for our house. We'll talk about that in the classes. Okay, so aumento en la deformación, or a rise in immoral activity. People who just don't give a shit about humanity, right? A rise in adultery, cheating, infidelity, disloyalty, and these issues and partnerships and like intimate relationships will bring about addiction, intoxication, or drug addiction, right? Aumento en los hechos delictivos. ¿Qué es delictivos?
Delincuentes, o sea, es
A rise in delinquency.
cosas que no son legales.
Illegal
Hechos que no son.
a rise in illegal activity. And of course, we know people haven't made money for a year. Of course, people are out there stealing because when stomachs are growling, we have to survive. So we are going to see this. People wanting to steal from you, rob you, hurt you, you know. Now let's get to the recommendations. These are the recommendations. Renzo, will you do it in English, please? What is recommended for 20?
Okay. Bueno, a ver, se hace un llamado a la sociedad mundial, dice sobre el alto nivel. Okay, well, basically, corruption. Okay, we know that the corruption is going on all over the world. It's incredible in the United States now, but we have to hacer un llamado. O sea, we have to speak up. In other words, it's good to be activist. It's good to protest. Of course, you got to be careful, but it's good to protest. So it's recommending you to stand up for your rights for this year. Okay. Obviously, respect, particularmente en la familia, ¿no? You have to find that respect within your family. It's very important, okay? And have that passion and have that respect for education and work too. You know, don't just do it for money, but find that passion for making money. You know, find that passion to go back to school or to finish your education, you know. Obviously be very sanitized, you know. Obviously this year is very important to keep that cleanliness and be very clean. Is very, very important. Okay. Like what Leo said before, be very, very careful breaking any laws. So when you go protest very peacefully. Don't break any laws, because we predict that, you know, there will be a lot of people that will have issues with the LOA. God, it keeps talking about family in your home, respect in matrimony, in tu hogar, and your family in your home. Obviously, to keep checking yourself and health-wise, going to the doctor. Don't assume that with the vaccine you're going to be okay. Or still be very preventive of any disease, not only COVID. Aseo es lo mismo. Recomiendo respeto entre matrimonio. Ya I've talked about that already. Oh, remember what I said before about giving favors. Okay, don't do favors. Don't do, take care of yourself first. Okay, take care of yourself first, and second, doing favors. But don't go out of your way to help somebody at this moment. La rerogación de cabeza. Okay, la rerogación de cabeza is a cleansing that we have to do for everybody, and it's in the head. But I guess we'll talk about that because it's a process, a ceremony. Okay.
Yes.
It's important to plan your, it says recommendations to plan economically for your family. And it goes back to what I said before. I don't know if you listen. Saving money, save money. Okay, save money, because financially it's very unpredictable, and we could see it in the market. It's very unpredictable. So we have to save money. So think about your family and think about the future. We all know the job situation all over the world, not just in the United States. If you can do some kind of obra, ¿cómo se dice una obra en inglés? Alicia, una obra en inglés sería
Offering.
Un offering para Olokun in the ocean. Okay,
Yes.
and we can tell you how to do that.
Yes.
Just go on and goes. Yeah, well, basically, the next one is for anyone who's interested in consagrándose, to enter the religion, to consult. And that's why we're here. Honestly, this session right here is exactly that. You guys are asking questions, and you're going to get closer to the religion so you can one day become a santero or a babala, for example. Be very selective with people. Be very selective with people that will offer you this religion. Okay, it goes back to what Alicia said before. Ask questions. Be a student and learn first. Don't just jump into the religion, because unfortunately there are people that are doing bad things. Okay, evitar narcissism, to not be a narcissist. Try to be more humble. What Leo said, try to be more humble instead of, being a narcissist. Okay, bueno, reforzar la puerta de la casa, to reinforce your home. Now, this says the door in your home, but I'm saying your home. Reinforce your home, which means, to me, I interpreto como proteger la casa. Tienes que proteger la casa. Y lo hace con el padrino, with somebody that can give you some tips on how to protect your home. For example, cleaning your home with the hierbas, with the herbs of Obatala. That's a great way to protect your home, right? And of course, if you have a padrino, a godfather, to go for that person to orient you into this religion.
Yes.
Let's open to Q&A. Let's just open it. We'll spend like maybe 10 minutes, a few minutes, a few questions. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. I'm going to stop sharing. Renzo, thank you. Thank you, Renzo. Muchísimas gracias, Renzo. Padrino, gracias. Vamos a recibir algunas preguntas y después vamos a cerrar a las 8:30. En 8 minutos.
Okay.
Does somebody have their hand up? No veo manos levantadas. Alguien preguntó, ¿qué pasa si no tengo un padrino? What if I don't have a godfather? A godparent?
Si no, yo creo que si no hay un padrino, en este momento nosotros, en estas clases que vamos a dar, en estos encuentros, le vamos a poder indicar mucho cariño a las personas qué poder hacer mientras tanto.
In the classes, we're going to be able to provide you with advice and recommendations on what to do, right? So we're not necessarily going to be your godparents. Renzo may not be your padrino. I might not be your godmother. Leo might not be your godfather. However, we're here to serve. And so we will absolutely help you as much as we can. Another question? Padrino, ¿qué colores se debiera usar este año?
Por lo general nosotros mandamos una bandera, bueno, los santeros, yo te voy a mandar la tuya con Renzo, ahora cuando me encuentre con él, y es una bandera, por ejemplo, detrás de la puerta de la casa, una bandera azul con ribetes amarillos.
¿Cómo debiéramos vestir? ¿Hay un color que debiéramos usar más en este año para atraer algo?
No, yo no, pues.
No.
No.
So, to the clothes, India,
Pero sí,
where?
pero sí es importante tratar de procurar esa banderita detrás de la puerta de la casa.
For those of you
Una de las formas de proteger la casa, una de las formas de protección de la puerta de la casa es esa bandera.
So one of the important.
This sign says that you shouldn't wear anything dark. You should wear something light colors are better for you. It's better energy.
Thank you, Renzo. So we're using, some of us live in the States, right? And it's cold and wear white as much as you can. Wrap your hair as much as you can. Wear lighter colors. Don't wear black because black attracts a lot of negative things. What Leo was saying is what's really important for the protection of the house is to get a flag. Those of us who are in the religion, we wait for the letra because when we know who's governing, those are the colors that we put behind our door. And so he's saying that you should get a flag that's blue with yellow. Is it blue, yellow stripes, Renz, or is it equal parts blue, equal parts yellow?
No, completamente azul y unos ribeticos
and the
amarillos.
border is yellow. So for those of you who get your sewing on, get your sewing on.
Voy a mandarte una con Renzo y
ya yo lo pedí, pero si me lo vas a mandar, mándamelo ya. Te lo recibo y te amo. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, Tawana. So it's going to be the third Wednesday of every month. So I'll give you the date. We're going to have our first class on January 27th. Wednesday, January 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it is on my website. I'll add the date, but January 27th. And then we'll give you all, there'll be a curriculum. Every month will be a theme. Every month will be a topic. And so yeah. The flag info, you need it again, Tawana? Let me see. When I pray and meditate, how should I start the prayer? Denia, are you in the religion? Are you a santera? Because any prayer, you should just start from the heart. So if you're praying to if you're not in the religion, then you're an aleo, which means that you have a bóveda. And in front of your bóveda, you will go to your bóveda with all of your faith, with all of your love, with all of your heart, and you will pray just asking for guidance for your ancestors. And so there's no way to start that prayer other than thanking them. Thank you for the ways you guide me. Thank you for the ways you protect me. I am here. You're humble, your humble niece, your humble sister, your humble, you know, I stand before my bóveda and I ask my brother every day to protect me, to protect Courtney, to protect my family, to protect my mother.
Yes.
Yo le pongo la mano. Before I leave my house, I knock on my bóveda 3 times. When I come home, yo le toco. Yo llegué. And so it's a relationship that you're establishing. You go before your bóveda to ask for blessings. And we can talk about bóvedas in the class also. Para la clase también, bóvedas. Tawana, can you please remind me some of the things we're going to talk about? Let me see. Colors. The classes are going to be on the website. And I think that's it. Was there more? We'll take a couple more and that's it. The flag one more time. The flag is blue. It's just a square. It doesn't have to be 6 feet, Tawana. Tawana, it does not have to be the size of a blanket. It is it's a small square or rectangular flag that is blue and like think navy blue, think Yemaya blue, think LA Dodgers blue. And then the border is yellow, so like a square, like a thin, like yellow border for Ochun. The whole flag is blue, borders are yellow, and that's what we hang behind our door to protect us. The class is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, family, we're gonna close up. Padrino, vamos a cerrar. I love you all. Sorry I'm rushing you all off, but I have Denia,
Sí,
you and
sí,
I
sí.
and you'll go to the class, so we're gonna get down and dirty with the
Okay.
board. ¿Qué tú quieres decir antes de cerrar, mi amor?
No, pues gracias a todos por haber venido. Eso es lo que quiero decir y que bueno, lo vamos a esperar. A mí me gustaría la próxima clase profundizar un poco más sobre Olokun. Hoy hablamos un poco en general, pero profundizar sobre quién es Olokun y hablar un poquito más acerca de todas estas ceremonias.
So Leo says that, you know, in the class, he wants to talk a little bit deeper, he wants to go in, dig into who Olokun is, right? And what Olokun represents. Renzo, do you want to say anything to close out?
No, I wanted to thank everybody. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Leo, for this opportunity. And we are here to help everyone. That's our jobs. Los babalaos, los santeros, Obas, that's our jobs. So we're here and lo que necesiten ustedes a la orden.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Renzo, thank you for making the time to be here, Padrino. Gracias por tomar tu tiempo. Y lo do por su sabiduría, Renzo. Those pataquis were beautiful. I can't wait for you to join our classes whenever you can. It's going to be wonderful. And it's going to help us all so much. Padrino, te amo. Gracias por todo, por siempre guiarme. This is my spiritual family. These are people that I trust and respect and admire. And they're honest. This is my cloth. This is my tribe. Thank you all for joining. Definitely go to the website this week for the class. The class is inexpensive. It's $25. We're in a pandemic. And the $25 goes to Leo, you know. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, family. H.
Vamos a utilizar esas hierbas.
Sí, vamos a hablar de la hierba en la clase, le decimos, tenemos tiempo.
Okay.
Vamos a hacer el video y yo lo voy a poner en mi IG, en my Instagram. Everyone have a wonderful evening. Good night. Bye, everyone. Peace.
Good night. Thank you.
Renzo, te quiero.
Padrino, te amo.
Thank you so much. Chabón, thank you. Chabón is here.
Aquí está la clase de baile.
Empezamos el 10. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Alicia, gracias por invitarme. Los quiero. Nos vemos en la próxima clase. See you there.
Bye.